Here is the invasive, this is the growing monoculture of English, I mean no, yeah, this is the French broom, Genista montspeciolana. It's so dense that it is actually snuffing out all the English ivy. And maybe that's because that the English ivy doesn't really like growing in here. There are ashes. So there is an ash tree here, a white ash, it's native. It is being taken over by English ivy, which I need to get off, or at least I somehow saw it off. Ugh. Otherwise, it's gonna strangle. Yeah, it's gonna probably backbud a lot if I take this back and kill it. There's also a lot. Well, there's just a bunch of suffering plants in here. There's a bird died that's over there, but this is native. I'm pretty sure. I hope it is. At least it's growing very well. Especially it's only March, but here it is. I'm gonna go all through it. I'm gonna put my AirPods or my headphones there, but here it is. And I'm gonna drop my backpack as well. Also, I'm right next to the hemlock area. It's just a mess. Look at this. So this is what it looks like when you don't take care of French broom. And wait a second. So this one is not dead. Okay, so how got all its bark bitten off and it's not dead? How is that possible? There's nothing. There's no. Well, I mean there. But how? There's no at the base here. There is no connection to the tissue, or unless there's the cambium is in here. But I thought the bark was where it was. I thought that was where all the action happens. I mean, maybe in here. Yeah, it's that low. So it's probably, you need to just get rid of it completely in order for you to kill it. But here, it is. It looks like animals come here and gnaw off the bark. It doesn't seem to be stopping them. There's also golf balls everywhere. What is this? This is another ash. This is the ash. And I think it ends right here. Yeah. It ends here. So that is the darkness of the monoculture of this horrible plant. If I get rid of this, it's not that big. I can probably get the whole thing cleared, like this year. It's not as big as I thought. It's 13 meters by 9 meters, approximately, according to Google Earth. I measured it on Google Earth, but I've not measured it in with actual tools, but. It's a rapidly growing monoculture, and it's spreading. It's getting bigger, and it has to be stopped. And no one's been doing anything to it or anything about it until hopefully this year when I come along and get rid of it once and for all. But yeah. I want to let the native plants grow. You can see it. Well, maybe it actually starts all the way over there. I'm under a sycamore tree. I don't think it's the native kind. I think it's Platanus excess aerifolia. There's also this invasive silver wattle acacia deobata from South Africa, and yeah. So I think, yeah, it continues up to the edge of the road. There's a lot of it on the edge of the road, and I think it's spread out into here. But I don't know why it has gotten into this little lowering area, this little low area. It probably is where water flows when during some very, well, I don't know. There was water flowing there, and it was raining like cats and dogs, more than like cats and dogs. But maybe, I don't know. There is some very hard rain coming up in the near future, like a few days. But this is not a very dominant water path. So I don't know if this place it floods, but this place is quite low. But I would like to get this all cleared. It's quite easy to pull out the little ones, and which is a relief, but the bigger ones will have to be twisted out of the ground. That's how I got rid of the ones in the other area that was growing a smaller population of these. But yeah, so it doesn't look very large on Google Earth, but it is kind of a large section when you actually go there. It's very extensive. Who knows if there's any insect nests within this area? I hope there are not, because I would much rather clear out the entire monoculture, or as much as I can possibly clear out, rather than just clearing out like a 1 square meter section. Yeah, I need to get this done before it seeds. There are a bunch of flowers on their way. I would like to pull as much as I can out. They're already twice as tall as me, and they're still growing like a foot per year, or maybe like they're still growing quite fast. They get quite large, but this is like the main area that they're actually creating a problem. And as you can see, as you go in, the ground cover gets less and less, and then eventually there's only Scotch broom, the French broom. That's all you can see. And that's what makes a monoculture mono. One species takes over and creates its own the culture, I guess, its own group of recruits, and nothing else grows aside from the new seedlings, and the biggest of trees that I don't know, but yeah, and also there's invasive periwinkle, like even the English ivy can't get through here. It's just, I don't know. These probably create this chemical in the soil that hampers any other plant growth. But you can see that there's native ash trees here. Now, this ash stump. A lot of trees here were cut for the purpose of making way for the power lines. But the power lines are not... This was not in the way of power lines. I don't know why it was cut down, which just kind of infuriates me when I don't get an explanation for why things happen, especially things that I initially dislike. I get very angry. There's also this, I believe it's California walnut. Juglans Californica. And yeah, this is on the edge of the monoculture, but it was originally a larger trunk, and this is all 4 years of growth. They grow 1 meter per year, fast growing, but yeah, then there's willows. There would be a whole bunch of willows that would start growing here and flourishing. Buckeyes, seedlings that have, and even seeds of other plants would start sprouting once this is taken down. All this invasive stuff. You get more of these plants, which are nice. I believe they're native. Yeah, I think they are native. Yeah, and poison oak, we want that. I mean, it's a native. A lot of people don't want that, but there are animals that actually pollinate it and help disperse its seeds. So, yeah. Then there's a bunch of high school kids that have no idea what the fuck they're doing to the environment by supporting golf in California. It does not exist here. Golf does not exist in California, period. They don't bother seeing how expensive. They only see the good sides of it. But the stuff that people don't tell you is that golf is super fucking expensive, and it's most popular in dry areas because most of the golf that I see is in dry areas, and that just makes it more expensive for people who have to take care of it. I think, well, sometimes even the people, maybe they hire people who never even wanted to be part of a golf. Like, I don't know. There's probably a whole bunch of bad things about golf that nobody talks about. And that's why we have such a water shortage, is because golf makes desert seem like paradise. And I came so close to just telling those guys that, they probably wouldn't listen to me anyway, but that, you realize that golf in California and other dry areas poses a problem to the water bill and the drought crisis, and they have no idea what the fuck they're doing. They probably, this is so what I hear from other rebels like me, that they don't bother about the science and the research. And if there is any science, they only look at the science that makes it positive. They don't tell you that they spray fucking shitloads of chemicals on there, and that gets in the creek. I've drank this creek water before, before I actually fully understood why not to drink creek water, but that doesn't matter. But for the animals here who have to deal with this, I feel so fucking sorry for them. I pity them. It's so fucking depressing when you hear all the stuff that people don't talk about often. It makes you sick, like me. And the only way to stop yourself from being sick is to rebel. I walk to school every single day, and I flip them off, and an ASL, like that. I flip them the middle finger. I do it. Of course, I could gather up the courage to just scream at that. Kill your fucking lawn. But this was about the French Broom. I'm going off on a tangent. And I don't want to I don't want to spread the sick feeling yet. That would be for a video that is dedicated to that purpose, so that you guys can prepare for that. But yeah, that was the Scott the I have been taught my whole life that this is Scotch Broom by my parents, and I don't blame them. They're very similar. They're in slightly different subfamilies. The Genista monspeciolana is in the Genistiae family, a subfamily of Fabaceae, which is the beans and legumes, and the other one is Cytisus scoparium, the Scotch Broom. So yeah, and that's in the. Maybe it's in a different subfamily. Not every very specific species, like this. Member of the carrot family, Ipiaceae, is the poison hemlock. I don't know the scientific name of this yet. I could look it up on my computer if I have Wi-Fi, but I just want to show you how to identify it. I mean, it's quite obvious. It grows everywhere. But this is I can definitely see because like no one really cares. This tree doesn't need to be here. There's no purpose that this tree is serving by being here. But if I ring it at the base past the cambium layer and kill it, before that, I have to consider the location it is. It has been gradually leaning that way over the years, I assume. I haven't been visiting this creek long enough to determine that exactly, but that's usually what happens when you have a leaning tree. It gradually leans over like that over the years, and it's right next to the road, parts of it. And it goes all the way up there. So the top would have to be removed if I was to do that. Otherwise, I would be committing a crime and causing a traffic problem, probably resulting in a car crash. So I would not do that. I would look what is in the surroundings of the tree you want to remove. And yeah, so this is like the best time to do it. None of the seedlings actually from this tree have sprouted. There's just not enough moisture, which is nice. I don't know how this tree got here. I really don't. Maybe it was just lucky. But the French Broom is a Mediterranean plant that is adapted to dry seasons, and it grows all over the hills. All over the trails, you see it like in like March to May. You'll see these flowers, and you see these kind of fuzzy leaves. Well, those aren't fuzzy. I'm very familiar with them being fuzzy. I mean, they are kind of fuzzy. You can see they're trichomes. Especially at the tips of the growth and the new flowers coming in, it's very fluffy. They have fuzzy beans when they're forming the beans. I can see why this was an ornamental. There's still some brainwashed areas of society that think that this is a beautiful ornamental, and they're brainwashed. Society is brainwashing society to society that this is a beautiful plant because they're not looking at science, the modern science from at least because now everyone agrees that this plant needs to go. But the thing is, there's a catch. Not everyone has the time or the patience or the care to spend some time to get rid of this and help Mother Nature restore her native plants that she has offered to these specific areas. Like for us, we have buckeyes, and we have plum trees, oaks, willows, sycamores, but we have maybe, I don't know. This isn't, I don't know if this is the native sycamore, but there is a sycamore that is native here. We have a walnut, we have lots of oaks, we have hemlock. I'm sure that if I get rid of all of this, that I would get a bunch of hemlock seedlings, buckeye seedlings, ash seedlings, oak seedlings, plum seedlings, and all this really good stuff. Maybe even like other plants, like toyon and ceanothus, which I don't know if ceanothus grows up here, but it's native to mostly in Southern California. So that was a tour of this invasion and a rant about society and my hatred of golf that I encourage everyone to hate golf. If I had the power to if I had the power of compulsion, I would definitely manipulate every single person to hate golf. I respect it. It's a sport. But it just doesn't belong. I hate it when it is in dry areas like us. Especially, they don't need to use chemicals. The chemicals that invade, like the plants that invade lawns and stuff, are probably native ones that are trying to get a chance, and they're not going to even affect the luxury of golf. But the only thing that I will be fine with is if golf is only practiced in areas that get rain for more than 2 months, more than 6 months of the year, more than half a year of rain. Seattle, it's okay. The flatlands and the Great Lake areas, that's fine. I wouldn't recommend any more golf courses over there, but I have to go. I can't really. I'm getting sick.